Hey, this is Ryan. I just wanted to record just a quick tutorial on settings and targeting and stuff for yoga Facebook ad campaigns, because this is a really common market that people like to advertise to on Facebook. It's going to work super well, and I just want to show you how to set it up. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of Facebook and stuff, the most important thing if you're going to be trying to do lead generation or new member acquisition for something like a yoga studio on Facebook, the most important thing is not the settings on your Facebook ad or the targeting or some secret thing you don't know. And the most important thing is like the message and the offer and how you are positioning the studio or the class or whatever to bring people in. Okay, so if you don't have that right, and if you don't have something that's attractive, it doesn't matter what you do in Facebook ads, it's not going to make a difference. So just to be clear on that, so what you need before you kind of start running on Facebook ads for yoga studios or whatever is basically, okay, what's my offer going to be? How am I going to present my studio or my client studio in a way that's going to want to make people come in to try it? And how can we, collect information and get leads like these people's names and phone numbers and stuff, so that it's seamless for them to like actually contact me and go from seeing me on Facebook for the first time to becoming a lead. That part is the most important, and if you don't have that, Facebook ads doesn't matter. So before we look at the Facebook ad side, which is important, we need to look at the offer and the funnel and stuff. So I use ClickFunnels, and like this is an example one that I've just built based on a couple of funnels that we've done that have worked well for other yoga studios. So I've made like this debranded version that you can use, and this is a layout that works really well. So what I was saying about the offer and things like that, this is what I mean. 30 days of unlimited yoga for $30. That's a good offer. If someone is interested in yoga, or they're already at another studio paying $200 a month, they might want to change. This is something that's going to get them in the door. This is the kind of thing that you can advertise to on Facebook. And use something like this, which is ClickFunnels, to get people that are interested in this at your studio or whatever it is. It might be a free 7-day trial. It might be a week for $10 or whatever. This time we've done 30 for 30, which has worked super well. This is the most important part, because this messaging goes in your ad. It is what they see when they come off of Facebook, and is what convinces them to either register their interest with you or not. So this is really important. So it's like a generic one I've made that you can customize for your yoga studio, and this template for ClickFunnels is available for free below this video. So you can see that link and get a ClickFunnels free trial account with this already in there, and you can go and use the drag and drop kind of editor to customize all this so it just looks like your studio, all right, and whatever you want to put here. So if people like come off Facebook ads, land on this, they click the button, fill out the information to like get their pass and things like that, and then they become a lead, and you can follow up with them. And that's what I was saying when your funnel and the process that you use to take someone from being just interested to becoming an actual lead, like what happens when they click off of Facebook. That stuff is actually far more important, and the messaging, that stuff is far more important than what you do with Facebook ads. All right, so make sure you know what your process is going to look like before you start running ads. You don't just run ads to your homepage and expect people to sign up. You need something like this, which is an offer and a funnel. And you can get this in ClickFunnels below this video. Now let's have a look at the Facebook side. So once you've got that, say, okay, I know what I want to promote. I want to do 30 for 30 or 10-day pass or whatever it is. You've got something you think is attractive to get people in. Now you want leads. You want to advertise on Facebook, and you want leads. You want people to give you their email address or their name, email, phone number, or even more information if you want to ask for more information. So that means that when we're setting up our Facebook campaign, like this is the first step, we want to use conversions here, okay, because we're going for leads, which is a conversion. So let's have a look at how the campaign should be set up. So this is how you set up a yoga lead generation campaign on Facebook. So I'll fill out the names and stuff in a minute. First thing you want to do is tell Facebook what you want. So in pretty much every case here, you're going to be just using lead here. So this is the lead generation campaign. So we'll go into Facebook pixels in a different video, but this all comes from your Facebook pixel, and it just allows Facebook to see when people sign up through your ad and things like that, and register their interest with you. So the stuff that people get hung up on for like doing yoga Facebook ads and things like that is all this down here. So who should I advertise to? What interest should I use? How do I make sure they're earning a certain amount of money and all that stuff? And most people kind of don't really get this right. They try and take it too far and get too complex with it. When, like I said just now, if you have the like foundation right, which is the offer and the messaging, which is and like the funnel and the process and all this stuff, if this is good and this is attractive, you can do just the basics right in Facebook and you're going to get really, really good results. So Facebook is not going to save the day if you don't have the offer and the messaging figured out, okay? But when you do have a good offer, this is how you set it up. So most yoga campaigns are going to look like this. So in the vast majority of cases, you're going to run the ad to women, at least to start, okay? It's just more women than men do yoga, like fact. No, you can't argue with that. Regardless of whether you think you should advertise to both or whatever, this is how you get the highest ROI campaign. By all means, advertise to both, or if you have a studio just for men, go for it. But the vast majority of people are going to want to run to women at least to start with, okay? So we're going to choose your city. So I am currently in Santa Monica, so we are going to advertise here. Facebook will by default add a 40-kilometer radius around the location you set, so you do not want to do that. No one is going to travel 40 kilometers to go to a yoga class. So I like to set, current city only, and then we're only advertising to people in Santa Monica. If you want to do a radius around, a certain place on the map or around a certain city center, you can do that. You can move this pin around. Maybe I'll put it over here in West Hollywood and then do a 10-kilometer radius around that. That's all fine. Just, basically however far you think people are going to come to check out your studio. So for age, you can do a few things here. You do at least 21 years old. If it's more expensive studio, a lot of people like to do 25, so 25 and up. When you start to get over 25, or you can go higher, 30, 35. The higher you go, as a general rule, the more disposable income people have. So, a lot of 25-year-olds cannot afford a $250 a month yoga membership. But you can put the age of whatever you think is sufficient. Most of the time, I like to cap it off. You can choose 55, 60. You can go 65 and above if you want. Reality is not many people in that age bracket probably go to yoga studios, but by all means you can advertise to them. Let's say we'll cap it at 60. Okay, so now we get into the detailed targeting. A couple of different ways you can do this. Okay, firstly, this might come as a surprise to some people. If you have a broad yoga offer, which is not super high end, like you have a yoga studio near the center of town, your pricing is like pretty competitive, and you're going for volume, you want to get a lot of members in the door, you can run ads. If your ad is good, you can run it to all of these people, women 25 to 60 in Santa Monica, without any other targeting. You don't have to put in, I like yoga pants, I like all these celebrities that are into yoga. You don't need to do that. You can, and we'll test that too. But it is possible, very possible actually, I've done it, to run a broad yoga offer to just all women between, this age range in your city. That can work if your offer is good and your messaging is good, okay? So don't be afraid to test that, cheaply to start with, like $10 a day or something. And that's going to get you the highest reach. Currently 66,000 people within Santa Monica currently fall within this age range and are women, okay? So that is going to get you in front of all of them. Now, what we want to do is, you can test that as one ad set, all right? And you can spend a little bit on it, and you'll very quickly see, is this working, is this not working? And if you're getting low-cost leads, like, a few dollars per lead, leave it on. That'll do well for you. You'll also want to do some different ad sets though, where you have some targeting included. All right. So obviously, yoga is the obvious one. So we can pop that in, and that is going to narrow it down from 66,000 women to 32,000 women. Okay, or you might say, that's still too broad. Like, this is a great one, by the way. It's not. Don't think, oh, that's too simple, too straightforward. Test this out. All women in your city that like yoga. Okay, you're probably going to get good results with that. Yoga is a very broad interest. Outside of that, outside of the super broad one, oh, and by the way, just to reiterate, when I'm taking interest to narrow down the population of an entire city, I like to get it to roughly 50% of what we started at. So this is a great example. So we started at 66,000 people. I added yoga, and it took us down to 32. All right, that's pretty close to 50%. And now we know that we have the half of people in Santa Monica in this age range that are more likely than not interested in yoga. Okay, so it's like a step down or a step more targeted than what we did first, which was just advertising to everybody. So that is like the second least targeted option, if you like. Now we can go further down than that, and then you can find these other all of these other interests that are going to obviously indicate that people are interested in yoga. So let's say a yoga journal. Let's see what happens there. So women in Santa Monica between this age range that are interested in yoga journal. All right, that's 14,000. You might want to test that out with a small ad spend. We might want to do, what else do we have? Yoga Alliance, that could be another good one too. Okay, so it's 19,000 people. You can either test these individually, or you can put them all in together until, again, they stack up to a good number, which is going to be roughly 50% of the people in the city. Or, you could do these. We've got 20,000 people that like either of these two things. So what I'm saying is make yourself, a small handful, let's say 5 or so, different targeted audiences that are, a bit broader, so the general yoga interest, a bit more targeted, so things like these ones. And then if you you can add these in together until you get a pool of people that is what you want. So 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, or whatever. Like I said, I like to keep them bigger where possible. So it's just all the different ways you could do it. Okay, and all of these will work to a degree. Some will work in some cities and not others. But this is as complex as you need to get. Okay, and there are some other things you can do. So if we do, for example, you might want to also include, let's narrow this down actually and not narrow the audience. We might want to look for some things outside of these interests. Okay, we might want to look at actual behaviors. So this is a popular one, the gym and fitness club behavior. So this is basically data that Facebook pays other companies for, where it basically tells them which of their users spend money or are likely to spend money on gym memberships and things like that, or any kind of fitness-based, fitness club-based membership. All right, so we've got this is like an extra layer on top. So we've started off here. We've gone all women between these ages in Santa Monica. Then we've gone, that like any of these things. Okay, and that gave us 20,000. And now we're saying, okay, they must like any of these things, and they must also match this gym and fitness behavior, where we've got some information that Facebook has that they're very likely to spend money on this kind of thing. So we've now got a very small amount of people, 6,200. So that's a bit small for my liking. So we might want to add a few more in. So yoga.com, that didn't add anyone new. What else do we have? Yoga International, Yoga Life, Yoga Magazine, Yoga Today. Looking for something that looks a bit bigger. Hot yoga. All right. That didn't increase anything either. So you could add all of these in until you slowly work your way up at least over 10,000. Okay, and what you're basically saying to Facebook is these people that like any one of these, and you could add in like 20 of these that are all yoga related, and like have this purchase behavior. Okay, but this is still too small for me. So what I might do, if I'm going to have this purchase behavior on here, is just put the big yoga interest in. Okay, even that only gives us 8,800. All right, so this is like your kind of most targeted segment. So these age ranges and gender, we know they're interested in yoga, and we know they're likely to purchase on fitness-based memberships and fitness clubs and things like that. So that's a bit too small for my liking, but you can use it. And then the other one you can do, if we get rid of this, is just to stack up a bunch of like smaller. Take a bunch of smaller yoga interests, so ones that are in the hundreds of thousands and less than a million. Let's get rid of yoga, the main one, and then just basically add like a bunch of these until we get up to over 10,000 or whatever. But you can see these are like really not giving us a lot of people. So you probably have to add a whole bunch of those in, and it's probably going to give you a very similar audience just to the main yoga umbrella interest that we had in here originally. All right, so basically that's how you use interest targeting for yoga, and all of those options that I just gone over, they will all work to different degrees. And the most important thing is that you just test them, see which ones work in your area, and that you are using a good offer, which we went over earlier. That's the most important part. So outside of that, the only other one we have left is lookalike targeting. So I'm not going to get into how to actually build that today, but if you have an email list or a list of members at your studio currently, or a Facebook audience of people that have visited your website in the last few months, you can take the 1% lookalike audience of those people, then narrow it down again by the city and just run ads to those people. And Facebook is going to run your ads to anyone in the relevant area, to people that have like a whole bunch of things in common with your current subscribers or members and things like that. And that's another really good one. So if you take all of those, there's 4 or 5 different ideas. There's the untargeted, everyone in your age range in the city. There's the lookalikes, which we just discussed. There is the broad interests within your area and demographics, such as just yoga. They're stacking up lots of little interests until you get over 10,000. And then there is, what was the last one? Oh, there was layering in like behaviors and things. So, people likely to spend money on gym memberships, or people, you can do earnings, so people that earn over 50,000 or 100,000 or something, and layering those all together to make a really tight pool of people. Out of those 4 or 5 options, you have plenty to work with. They will deliver you all the results you could ever need if you have a good offer. Okay, so going back up here, get this part right, get your funnel working, get a good offer working, use this ClickFunnels template because it works, and then start coming into Facebook ads, okay? And below this video, you'll find links to the editable funnel templates here, so you can customize them and make them look just like your studio, your client studio. And then if you do want to get more into actually making the offers and what is a good offer, and then more of how to actually step-by-step set up the Facebook ads and do your audiences and what the ads should look like and things like that. There's a free Facebook ads training video linked below here as well. It's like an hour long, and that will go through more of the step-by-step and more examples. And you can you can go through that, and it's specifically for businesses advertising locally, exactly like yoga studios and other kind of fitness-based businesses. So have a look for the free Facebook ads training link below this as well. All right, so that is it. I hope that is somewhat useful for you for targeting yoga Facebook ads.